Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode 275 of the We Can't Wrestle podcast as we continue our Clash of the Champions series. The brothers Maxon here with you. I'm Nate. That's Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
I'm sure everybody is experiencing, well, not everybody, because we have listeners in like Florida and Arizona. Anybody that's listening that lives around where we are experiencing the wonders of winter. Where right now I
wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say today I went outside. It wasn't too bad. It's windy and cold. Then tomorrow it's supposed to be like 7. So
Yeah, like I smoked without a jacket on today, so I'm like, it's 27 degrees. It's so nice out.
And tomorrow it'll make your face hurt.
Yes.
Yeah, and then of course we have our listeners over in Norway who are like, you don't know what cold is.
Yeah.
We always like to thank our Viking listeners over there in Norway.
Yes.
We appreciate you. But yeah, like I said,
very much.
We're going to continue our journey through the Clash of the Champions series. This time around, it's Clash 28. We are in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Things are rapidly deteriorating in WCW. At the 5-Season Center, 4,200 in attendance. But do we have a Wayback Machine first?
Oh, yes, we do. Do you want the movies or the song?
I have a guess for a movie. I have a guess for a movie, and I have a guess for a song. Let's do the movies first, and I'll give you my guess.
All right.
It's August 1994. I actually just watched, I don't know if you've ever watched the series, but there's a series on Netflix, The Movies That Made Us. And I just watched the episode of The Movies That Made Us on this movie last night. I want to guess Forrest Gump is one of the top 2 movies.
Yeah, Gump's number 1.
All right.
When that movie came out, I was like, oh, this is one of the greatest movies ever. And then you watch it now, you're like, this is an okay movie.
It's still a good movie. For its time, the shit that they did, like with Gary Sinise's legs and everything, it was actually revolutionary at the time.
Yeah, and it was putting him in with like Kennedy and shit like that. And I always thought it was really cool that they had, I didn't know it at the time, but like when you go back and listen to like Tom Hanks talk about it, like they didn't have the kid study Tom Hanks.
Oh no, yeah,
he studied his.
Yeah, they talked about that. They talked about that on that documentary I just watched about how he based the Forrest Gump voice on the kid that played young Forrest Gump. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll never guess the number 2 movie, but you can try if you want.
94 summer. The Mask?
Nope, it's Clear and Present Danger.
Oof, not my type of movie.
Yeah, I believe it was Harrison Ford.
This is a Harrison Ford movie. Yeah.
It's just, it was like one of those things we talked about before with like, what was it?
Hunt for Red October or something.
Or the Clint Eastwood one where he was like the Secret Service agent.
No, yeah, I can't remember what it's called either.
Yeah, like one of them Tom Clancy books. It's like,
just not my deal. Not that they're bad. Not, for people that like that. Like Cornette says, for people like that kind of thing, that's the kind of thing those people like. But not my kind of movie.
And then, did you want to do any guesses on the songs?
I'll be honest with you. Usually, I'm pretty good on the music tip, but I didn't like. I had one that I thought might be up there, but I don't know. When you pull them, do you pull them from like Billboard? Like the pop charts, or
I literally Google top 2 songs on this date.
Oh, okay.
And then it gives
maybe it would be up there, because depending on what kind of chart they're basing it on, because around this time I know for sure a big hit was my namesake Nate Dogg, along with Warren G. Regulators. Regulate, nope. I should say. No?
Nope. It was number 2 was I Swear by All For One. And according to the Google machine, the number 1 song in America at this point was Stay by Lisa Loeb.
Lisa Loeb.
Yes.
All right.
Well, that's it.
Well, I'm just going to say, regulators, mount up. We ain't no
August
deeks off the streets.
Yeah, we ain't no deeks off the street.
You got to listen to Reliving the Extreme to get that one, folks.
We made it how many episodes, and that was one of his best jokes.
Yeah.
He was clear-headed that day. But yeah, August 24th, movie music-wise, it's kind of lame. I'm just saying. But anyway, like you said, we're moving into like the downtread of WCW. It was like WCW, not to get too much into it before we talk about the show, was like my jam from like, and you know this when we were kids, like it was my jam like 89 to like Spring Stampede 94. And then it was but from then to like Hogan turning.
Yeah. And you know, and I mean, I'll get into the NWO era when we get to it, because we're gonna have a little bit of the NWO era in this series.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's just, I don't know. And there's in this era of WCW, there's some good talent. There's some good matches.
Oh, there's good matches and there's good little storylines and stuff, but it's just
overall
the presentation as a whole was terrible. And Hogan, like, you know, when they talked about like Hogan was in WWF and he was starting to kind of lose his luster a little bit and everything.
Yeah.
When he was in WWF and he was like the All-American Hulk Hogan and shit, he was still at times like, I don't know how I'm trying. This is gonna sound weird when I say it, but he still had a bit of an edge to him. You know, like it wasn't completely like even when he feuded with like Slaughter during that, like he was still a kind of a badass when the matches were going and in his promos and stuff like that. Like,
well, that's what I was gonna say. Like Slaughter, if you look back on it, like I guess I'm always the guy that kind of like poo-poos the people that say WWF was too cartoony, and not saying that it wasn't. You get into a point between the golden era and the new generation era where they do churn out a lot of silly gimmicks. Still good wrestlers, but silly gimmicks. I'm gonna get back to my point though. I poo-poo a lot of the people that say WWF was too cartoony anyway, because I mean, wrestling was cartoony. There was a Batman that wrestled in the 60s, and there was, you know, it's not like it's not like Vince just came up with having silly gimmicks.
Yeah.
There were Frankensteins, there were mummies, there were, you know, but I don't think that Hogan was ever all that cartoony anyway. I don't know. There were probably the time he got the most cartoony would be the feud with Slaughter. Because if you watch, like you said, like the feud with Earthquake, you know, the feud with Earthquake was based on a personal issue and an attack. And then there was chair shots, and he left that big welt on Earthquake's back. Earthquake's back at SummerSlam.
The Canardian Earthquake.
The Canardian Earthquake. Or, you know, I mean, even the cartoony stuff, like he gets pretty like, I don't know, like some of his promos and stuff during the feud with Undertaker, you know? So I take your point, like, and I know where you're going with it. When he gets to WCW,
it's when he gets to WCW, he is completely corporate Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like there were two Hulk Hogans in WWF. There was corporate Hulk Hogan, who was like going to like corporate events and being like, "Oh, brother," and doing all that stuff, and then wrestling Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where I mean, he was still red and yellow and brother this and brother that, but he still had like kind of a sort of an edge to him. But in WCW, it's like he's completely fucking corporate Hulk Hogan, and it's annoying.
No, it's just like the people that say as an example, the people that say the cartoony WWF, and then, I mean, how is it not almost adult oriented? Where the feud between Hogan and Savage is because Savage thinks Hogan's fucking his girl. I mean, it's you know what I mean. It's not like I don't know. It's whatever. It's because it was something that they didn't want. You know, these guys didn't want to. Whatever. Anyway. And again, it's not like there weren't cartoony aspects, but there are cartoony aspects to every. I mean, fuck, Jim Crockett Promotions had Lasertron, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to 1994, and like we were saying, like the point that we're making here is, you go from a wrestling promotion that is a pretty darn good wrestling promotion. Yeah, it's a pretty darn good wrestling promotion. Very quickly into just some absurd things, and big changes very quickly. Because I mean I noticed just a stark difference between the last Clash and this Clash, you know.
Oh, definitely.
But let's get into it. It's we open up this Clash. The first match is the Nasty Boys versus Pretty Wonderful in a non-title tag team match.
Yeah. And I think they basically said if the Nasties win, they're going to get a title shot. And as both teams are coming out, we see the debut of Barry Darsow in WCW as the Blacktop Bully at ringside. He's playing the obnoxious fan with his air horn, and
I always, there's sometimes, especially when people change their gimmicks a lot, I always like to do your thing where what if they were still the guy that they started as. So like it would be Crusher Khrushchev, the American the American trader. Well, he has had so many jobs. Like Crusher Khrushchev went to the WWF. He went to the WWF and he teamed up with Axe for a long time. And Crusher Khrushchev and Masked Superstar had a great tag team, and they were successful. And then Masked Superstar left, and he was unemployed, so he became a repo man.
and the way he got found was because he became a repo man and he repossessed somebody's truck. And they're like, "Oh man, you drove that so great."
So then
so now we're gonna make you a truck driver.
He became a trucker. And then eventually he gets out on the golf circuit.
He's made enough money. He now owns his own trucking fleet, and now he's golfing and stuff.
The American dream, Crusher Khrushchev.
Yeah. But in this aspect, he's the Blacktop Bully. We haven't got the name yet.
I don't think he had the air horn yet either, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. I guess I didn't notice it. I probably didn't notice the air horn because right before I watched this thing, I watched an ECW episode, and Fonzie's whistle blew my ears out. So
yeah. Well, yeah, he has the air horn. And you might completely disagree with me, and if you do, it's fine. But I think Barry Darsow is so good at playing like an over-the-top character, and the gimmick itself, I don't think Blacktop Bully was a horrible gimmick.
No, I don't either. No, I don't either.
It was a pretty cool character.
For if you're going to accept the fact that this is the, like we said, the 94 Hogan era of WCW, and a lot of people are going to have some kind of a silly gimmick, I guess you'd call it. Yeah, he's obnoxious. He's got an obnoxious voice. He acts obnoxious, and he does a good job. Gets heat.
Yeah, and I thought, like I said, I thought the gimmick was kind of cool, and they could have even played it off as this guy was like, you know, in WCW because he was hauling the fucking ring or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it would have been a cool way to bring it in. But either way, I didn't mind the gimmick, and I think it's always funny that Barry Darso, other than like Crusher Khrushchev wasn't like over the top because he played a Russian or whatever. But other than that gimmick, he always played an over the top character. But like in real life, when you listen to the guy, he's like, "Oh yeah, I was this guy and I was that guy." You know, he's like one of the calmest dudes in the world.
I watched
every character he had was the most over the like Smash was over the top. Fucking Repo Man was definitely over the top.
I recently watched the WWF Superstars episode in '91. Okay, so Axe is gone, now Crush is gone, and it's just Smash. And his last match on TV is with the Warrior, and then like maybe like a month later he's on TV as Repo Man. So, but anyway,
it's also a cool gimmick.
Yeah, but it's funny during the match with Warrior. I probably didn't notice it when I was a kid, but that match with Warrior on Superstars, they are commentary. Vince and Piper are definitely giving Demolition a fucking send off because first of all, Smash comes to the ring and Vince goes, "This is Smash, one half of the once great tag team Demolition," and then after Warrior pretty much lays waste to him, Piper's like, "Oh boy, Warrior just took care of Smash, didn't he?" And Vince is like, "I don't know if we'll ever see him again." But yeah, they totally like I said, I wouldn't have noticed it as a kid, but they totally gave like that was Demolition's that was fucking Demolition's send off.
Put to bed, brother.
Well, once great tag team.
And then as a kid, you were like, "Oh man, they gave him that shitty music, like that shitty music they come out to at WrestleMania 7." It's like, well, they couldn't have came out to the other music because it was like, "Here comes the Axe."
Yeah.
Here comes the Smash. It's like the Axe isn't there. Like maybe take the fucking lyrics out of it. I don't know, the words out of it, and just have the metal music behind it or whatever. But yeah, like I said, the match itself.
I thought
it's a good fate. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I thought considering, and I don't know if it was meant to be that way, but I thought considering the guys in it was kind of sloppy. I don't know if they just didn't have chemistry or what, but I thought the match was kind of sloppy.
It was. I mean, it was more of a brawl, and the match itself was more, I think, to showcase the start of the Nasty Boys face turn, because the Nasties are still heels technically, but they got into like a altercation with Pretty Wonderful on Saturday night, and it's basically the Nasty Boys coming out party is turning face, and Jerry Sags ends up getting an elbow on Paul Orndorff for the 1-2-3, and it's gonna set up the Nasty Boys versus Pretty Wonderful for the tag titles. And I don't think, I'm pretty sure they're gonna beat them. Not on a show we see, maybe. I can't remember, but
might be
maybe one more. No, sorry, I looked ahead. I was gonna say something incorrect, but it's just setting up the Nasty Boys to turn face, and they're gonna continue kind of feuding with Pretty Wonderful for a little bit.
Yeah, because isn't the this is August? Isn't this is the War Games coming up where the Nasties team with Dusty and Dustin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. Because the next War Games is the one where they put the Dungeon of Doom in it, and you're like, "Oh,
that's the worst War Game.
That's the worst War Games ever."
That one makes me mad.
The next thing we see is the Hulk Hogan hotline. It's got 8 great options, including a great Hulk message. Like,
yeah, there's always something new on the Hulk Hogan hotline, brother.
Kids, get your parents' permission. $1.49 a minute to hear a Hulk Hogan message.
Just like say your prayers, eat your oatmeal, and call me again, brother.
But he drags it out for 5 minutes because it's $1.49 a minute. Brother, when I think of Ric Flair, brother, when I think of Vader, brother,
brother,
my brother, Brudai, brother, love. And then speaking of Hulk Hogan, oh buddy, here we go. Mean Gene Okerlund. He's going to interview the WCW World Champion Hulk Hogan, who later tonight is going to be defending his championship against Ric Flair, whom he defeated at Bash at the Beach. And as Hogan comes to the ring, the masked man comes out. A masked man comes out and lays the pipe on Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's Giant and Yeti later on. They lay the pipe on Hulk
Hogan. But usually Hogan laid the pipe, from what I heard, to the guy that clubbed him. Like, of all the things Linda Hogan ever said about Hulk Hogan, was her saying she came downstairs and said she saw Hulk Hogan blowing Brutus Beefcake. I'm like, if you saw something like that, it was probably Brutus Beefcake blowing Hulk Hogan.
We definitely know who the top in this situation is.
I don't think either one blew the other one, but if one was blowing one, Brutus was blowing Hulk Hogan. Probably to the beat to his music, too.
Well, the masked man comes out, and this is where we totally get into, like we were saying, the this is cartoony, and
yes,
the reason I say that isn't even necessarily masked man hitting Hogan in the knee with a pipe, but just the overall dramatics of the situation. And folks, if you're younger and you don't know, the reason they probably did this is because people could relate to the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan thing.
But, yeah, it had happened because I thought it was like, you ever get lost in time in the 90s?
Oh yeah,
when you thought something happened. Like, I was like, that happened in like 1992, and they're just going off it now. And I looked it up. I was like, no, that happened like 3 months earlier. So
yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
They were still topical.
Mm-hmm. But my thing about it was,
go ahead.
My thing about the cartoonishness of it was Mean Gene Okerlund is really dramatic during this. It's almost like every official that comes out, he just says their name, but he's screaming it. He's like, Nick Bockwinkel, Greg Gagne, Eric Bischoff. This is the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
And it wasn't even that.
Wasn't that bad, man?
Dramatic. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It's seen worse. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, oh, they made that I, Tanya movie with Margot Robbie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to remake that movie and look at the staff and make it like I, Brutai. I'm gonna like recast like modern celebrities in the I, Brutai movie. But spoiler alert, everybody, the masked man ends up being Brutus Beefcake. But if wrestling lore is true, from everything I understand, if you guys don't know what we're saying, like basically Hogan comes out, he's supposed to face or face Ric Flair tonight. The masked man hits him, and it's going to be this long drawn out thing of possibly who is this masked man. And from what I understand, initially it was not supposed to be Brutus Beefcake, which it winds up being. Sorry, Nate, if that's going to spoiler a later Clash of the Champions.
I think we're good.
But initially, from what I understand, Bischoff had met Kurt Hennig at a convention of some sort and almost had him signed, and it was supposed to be Kurt Hennig.
Yes, there is a lot. As I go through, like when I've read through the torches from like probably I'd say the end of '93 until he does eventually come in '96. There's so many times where it's reported that Kurt Hennig is about to sign with WCW. He's going to WCW. Yeah. He's going to there are lots of things in this era where like one of the punchlines is supposed to be it's Kurt Hennig, and it never is. So yeah, this is one of those. I think this was the most elaborate one, but yeah, that's what I've always heard too, is that the intention was for it to be Kurt Hennig.
Because Bobby even says it. He goes, "That was almost perfect."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, but obviously it doesn't wind up being him. But
and then they just go with they go from what could be a good idea to just the worst possible idea.
Like, oh yeah,
like they don't even, you know, you can see, oh man, we didn't get Hennig. Well, let's do something to make it, I don't know, you know, somebody. I'd have rather it been fucking Duggan than Brutus.
Yeah. Let's replace the greatest wrestler on the planet with the worst wrestler on the planet. But anyway, like you said, Greg Gagne comes out, all the staff's out there, and they end up EMTs end up coming out and they get Hogan out of the arena, and they say they're taking him away, and they don't know what's going to happen with the upcoming main event of Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair 2.
And the next thing we have here is a fantastic match. It is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Steve Austin. No disqualification for the United States title. One comment that Bobby made during this match that I was trying to make mention of, because they of course they discuss, you know, Hogan needing to go to the hospital, and Bobby Heenan says to Schiavone, "Do they even have a hospital in Cedar Rapids?"
If you do, you can tell me. If you don't, it's fine too. But do you know the significance of this match?
This is the match where Ricky gets his career-ending injury, I believe.
Yeah, until he comes back and wrestles Jericho at that WrestleMania, this is his last match that I know of. And the fucking insane part is, you don't even, if you didn't know, you wouldn't even know.
Right.
Because he doesn't miss a fucking beat.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And you maybe, you know, you can tell me. Was he already hurt and wrestled the match, or
did he get hurt during the match? He got fucked up during the match.
Okay.
Like he was set to have like a US title run.
Well, that's what I was saying.
I couldn't have to forfeit the belt in this.
I couldn't remember if it was one of those things where he had an injury, but they thought, you know, it might be all right, so they just went ahead with their plans, or if he got injured during the match. So that, okay.
No, he got fucked up during the match. And obviously I'm not a worker, so if a worker would watch it, they could probably see it. But there's one point where he gets like peeled off the top rope, and I think that at that point, I think that's when he fucked it up. But these two together is always fucking gold. And if I had to like pick, and I know like Steve had a different career in the WWF and different opponents and all that shit, but even the people that he wrestled in WWF, I still think Steamboat is in Steve Austin's like top 5 opponents, in my opinion.
No, he's number 2 for me. My favorite Steve opponent is Bret Hart, but my second favorite is Ricky Steamboat, definitely.
There's only one guy that I might put above him. You can be like, bah, or whatever. And it's Mick. I love watching Steve Austin wrestle Mick Foley.
Yeah, and they you know what? It's
It'd be
funny.
like Brett Mick, Steamboat, or you could even juxtapose fucking Steamboat and Mick. But those are my three favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mick's a great Steve Austin opponent too. But yeah, those would be the Brett and Steamboat are my two favorite Austin opponents for sure. And it's two. It's what do I say? It's two different versions of Austin too, which is great. You know,
Yeah.
which in this match I put down just like I mentioned last time. You just watch Steve evolve right now. Like he just keeps evolving and evolving.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's different Steves, but like in this match, and it's different Stone. Like there's two different Stone Colds too.
Yeah.
There's 1996, 1997 heel Stone Cold. There's like pre WrestleMania 14, post WrestleMania 14 Steve Austin or Stone Cold, you know?
Yeah.
In this one, you can start seeing pre WrestleMania 14 Stone Cold like mannerisms and facial expressions and shit.
That's exactly what I'm saying about the evolving of him. Yeah, he's whether he was going to be in WCW or WWF, he was evolving his character at this point. Like I need to change something, you know. And
like there's one point where fucking Steamboat makes a comeback and he almost makes the same expressions that he made at like that Royal Rumble when Brett comes back and is out. You know what I mean? It's like right. I think this match, you didn't know it watching it in '94, but like watching this match now, you're like, this is right about the time the fucking guy figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it came from working with Steamboat. Like, I think Steve Austin owes a lot of his career of psychology and selling and what to do in the ring and when to do it to working with Ricky Steamboat.
Two men. If you're talking about, he got in this time frame, he got to work with Ricky Steamboat and he got to work very closely with Robert Fuller.
Yeah.
And you can watch him learn from Fuller and you can watch him learn from Steamboat, you know.
And then almost like less or a little over a year later, he gets to work with Brett. Like, Jesus Christ. This guy got to work with those people in that fucking short period of time.
Yeah. And the match, again, I don't have a lot of notes on the match because I was watching it. The match is superb. And one of my favorite things, these are a few of my favorite things. One of my favorite things in wrestling is the way that this match ends. I really like when a really good match ends out of nowhere not with somebody's signature move.
Yeah.
Not just I love a good fast pace, then slow it down, then fast pace, then and I'm not a lot of times it's great when a match ends with the finishing move, but in a match like this, Steamboat winning with kind of the small package out of nowhere was perfect.
And he won it, and he was the United States heavyweight champion. And like I said, later on, I think on like a Saturday night, he has to come out and, relinquish the United States championship and retire. Like I said, it was probably on a Saturday night, which we thought Mean Gene which a big thing like Ricky Steamboat retiring should be on WCW Saturday night because that's their big show. We thought Mean Gene debuted on a pay-per-view, so
No,
Ricky Steamboat probably retired on WCW Pro.
No, I think it's on a pay-per-view because he relinquishes the belt, and that's when they have Duggan beat Austin in like 13 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, and they
so I think it is on a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that now.
Because I think by the next time we do a clash, Duggan is the U.S. champion.
Yeah. That's the thing where Doug getting in his Hall of Fame ceremony. It was like, I went to WCW and then beat Stone Cold so Steve Austin so bad he had to shave his head and change his name.
Hmm.
And they show Steve Austin. He's just like, you motherfucker.
But after this match, like I said, great stuff. Tony, Mean Gene, and Bobby Heenan at ringside discussing the Hulk Hogan angle going on. Eric Bischoff's at the hospital, or they say Eric Bischoff's at the hospital.
Eric the Turtleneck Bischoff.
The Turtleneck Bischoff.
Yes.
Bobby Heenan's smiling, and Mean Gene's like, What are you smiling about? And Bobby goes, I hope the bedpan's not cold. Bobby was on one tonight. He was and then there's some hillbilly in his front yard.
I put then we find out that the Honky Tonk Man's music video is debuting, Honky Tonk Baby, and it opens with Honky Tonk Man asking some pervert where the WCW matches are at.
Yeah, where are the WCW matches?
And this pervert tells him, I thought one of the things you said you were going to bring up was the Honky Tonk Man video. But, because you said you had a couple things you needed to bring up before we started recording. But this is 1994. And I wrote this question down. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can tell me if I'm wrong. But this is 94. And Honky Tonk Man's debuting. And it's a farting church. Right?
Well, all right. It's in my notes in the next Clash of the Champions, but I'll just say it here. We talk about people sometimes. And no matter whether this was the Hogan era of WCW or not, Honky Tonk Man did not fit in WCW. He just didn't fit. That character to me is just a WWF. It works on WWF TV. It did not work on WCW TV. No matter how lame this era of WCW is at some point.
See, that's what I was gonna ask was like, do you think it would have been a different story if he would have went as Honky Tonk Man? Because he owns the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if he would have left, like, when he left WWF in, like, 91, do you think it would have been a different story if he would have went there in 91?
No, I think he would have been. I think he would have been even worse fit in 91 WCW.
Okay.
You got Dangerous Alliance shit, and then you do it Honky Tonk Man? Nah.
Okay.
And it's just, and then this era, even though, like, I don't know why I can't place it, because I mean, we're about to have the Dungeon of Doom. We're gonna have Kamala. We got Hogan. We got Beefcake. We got all these WWF, Duggan, Earthquake. For some reason, Honky Tonk Man to me just, it's like, it does not work in the WCW. It's totally a WWF thing to me. I know it's his gimmick and everything. He came up with it, but it just, to me, it just doesn't work. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but.
Well, no, it did. It definitely didn't work here. But in my mind, I was just like, maybe it would have been a bigger deal if he would have went in like 91, because he was still the Honky Tonk Man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And you could be right, and I could be wrong. I may be crazy.
Here he's been gone for fucking 3 years. Nobody gave a shit. He's been fucking working armories for fucking 3 years.
Yeah, and he comes in, and then it's like, it's like the worst Honky Tonk Man song.
Yeah. It's like Timu Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So Honky Tonk Man's looking for the wrestling matches.
Yeah. Some pervert tells him where it's at. That guy looked like a pervert.
You wrote pervert. I wrote hillbilly. He's a pervert.
Hillbilly pervert.
He's a hillbilly pervert. I'll be going to the wrestling matches.
Yeah. Going. But anyway, Mean Gene interviews
Nick Bockwinkel, who's rocking some fantastic rings on this particular evening. I always look at Nick Bockwinkel's rings.
Yeah. And the box says
him and fucking Monsoon, man. Him and Monsoon got their fucking rings.
And money. I think Nick Bockwinkel always had money.
Yeah, I think he was one of those guys like Monsoon. Like his folding cash is like $2,000.
Yeah. He always had folding money. Like it's not even in the wallet, it's just in a clip.
Yeah.
Because I gotta sit comfortable, so I gotta put this shit in my front pocket.
But if Bockwinkel wasn't a $2,000 folding cash man, he carried himself like a $2,000 folding cash man.
Oh, he was a $2,000 folding cash man. He had it.
That's a good name for our episode. The episode $2,000 folding cash man.
Yeah.
But Gene's talking to Nick Bockwinkel. Of course, he's the commissioner of WCW, on the fact that if Hogan doesn't show up for his match, unfortunately, even considering the circumstances, he will have to forfeit the championship to Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And half the crowd cheers this.
Yes. And then he ends it with, if you smell what the Bach is cooking. He didn't really, but I wish.
If you smell what the Bach is cooking, hands Gene 100 and takes off.
Yeah.
Bring the car around, Gene. Then they show us footage of, I don't care if anybody says it's cheesy or whatever, actually one of my favorite moments in pro wrestling.
And that's what I was saying about like talking about, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Like talking about like, oh, Ricky Steamboat's going to retire on WCW Pro. This is Dusty Rhodes giving his promo to his son, basically saying, I feel like the worst father in the world that you thought you had to go to Arn Anderson instead of coming to me for help. And I feel terrible about this. And my entire career means nothing if you don't look at me like a father. And all I need you to do is tell me that you can trust me and be with me. And I don't need you to say yes. I don't need you to say no. I just need you to give me a hug and a kiss, and I'll be your tag team partner. And Dustin ends up kissing him. And this happened on WCW Main Event.
Right, exactly. Yes. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is gold. This shit is gold. Like, whether
Why isn't this on Saturday night? It's your top show.
Pay me back, it's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's one of Dusty's best promos ever.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin does a great job in it. It's one of the best moments in WCW history, and it was just on WCW Main Event.
Fucking stupid.
Anyway,
not the segment, but the fact that it was on like the B show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Dusty and Dustin, and like Aaron said, he essentially goes through the story again. Like Aaron said, I don't have to reiterate it really, but just the fact that Dusty is like, I was on the road. I feel like I wasn't there for you when you were a child, and now I haven't been there for you as an adult. And you felt, like Aaron said, you felt the need that you couldn't come to your own flesh and blood, your own father. You had to go to like one of our mortal enemies, and then he fucked you over, as we probably expected.
Yeah, like we call everybody talks about the Hard Times promo, which is like obviously a classic.
Mm-hmm.
I was just called this one the Hug and the Kiss. Like when I think of Dusty, I'm like, this is the Hug and the Kiss promo. Every time I see it.
No, I like this promo better than the Hard Times promo. I love my favorite Dusty promo is the one from fucking Madison Square Garden with Vince. That's my favorite one. When he's like,
just because I drive a big car now, don't make me bad, Jack.
Don't make me bad, Jack.
Come up at the ditch looking so sweet.
Come out the dish looking so sweet.
Yeah. Because it's driving big car now don't mean bad, Jack.
One of the greatest lines in wrestling history. Like, just because I made money don't make me a mad man.
Yeah. That's when Vince wanted that motherfucker to be.
Yeah. Oh, you watch Vince's eyes when Dusty's talking. He sees
like
fucking.
I don't want anybody to. I don't obviously want anything bad to ever happen to anybody, but if Vince's dad would have died 5 years earlier, like then, Dusty Rhodes would have been the biggest fucking thing in WWF history.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, he'd have beat Graham for the title, no doubt.
Yeah, Vince had a boner for that motherfucker. This roly-poly motherfucker's the man.
He's wearing that fucking hat. He's wearing that fucking hat.
Yeah,
got the little blonde fro underneath it. I fucking love that. Fucking love that shit, man. I love that shit. I will get out that Dusty Rhodes DVD just to watch that shit. That's so good.
70s Dusty Rhodes.
Yes, in the feud with Billy Graham. Fucking love it. It's wrestling. Fucking and anybody that hasn't seen it should watch it because, I know stuff's starting to get lost to time, but man. Come out the dish looking so sweet.
I love that. Just because I drive a big car now don't make me bad, Jack. One of the best lines ever.
Oh, you know what? I know this is totally off topic, but man, I had one of my sad moments in my life. So the Dusty Rhodes DVD, the WWF put out that I have all that thankfully has all that shit on it. That's how I watch that stuff, right?
Yeah. The button doesn't work anymore?
And no, the button, the last time I got the DVD out, the button officially died. It was always so nice to be able to press that button and be like, it's the fucking like a Your little DVD's like, it's the fucking like a But the button finally died. It was a sad day at the Maxon house.
You let the horseman ride. You let the horseman live on another planet because I reserved a stratosphere for me.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that Dusty's DVD was the first one that talked to you. Somebody knew that shit was gold. This Dusty DVD should talk.
Press that little button. Say, "Fucking like a Tour." It's a little DVD thing, so it's kind of quiet.
Yeah, little speaker.
Oh shit! All right, so the match we have here is the Sunstick. Go ahead.
Good.
No,
I was just gonna say, like, talking about how bad WCW was at this point. Going forward until we get to the NWO, it's funny because the best stuff of the best two things of WCW going forward, and I'll talk about it, is anything involving Steven Regal, and then anything involving the Stud Stable, like which is basically their mid card. That's the only good shit,
right?
Everything else revolves around Hogan and Beefcake and the Dungeon of Doom, and it's all garbage. But if you guys really want to watch the good meat and potatoes of WCW in post Spring Stampede to Bash at the Beach when the NWO happens, I should say three things. It's number one, anything involving the Stud Stable. Number two, anything involving Steven Regal. And then number three, if you just want to go off match quality, the beginning stages of the Cruiserweight division. Other than that, everything's fucking garbage. But go ahead, sorry.
No, there are probably a couple more things as we go along where we're like, oh, that's good too. But yeah, those are the highlights, definitely. The match here we have is the Stud Stable. At this time, we got Bunkhouse Buck and Terry Funkin' Buck And they are facing the Rhodes, of course, Dusty and Dustin. It's funny because I put down this match is if you watch the match itself for these guys is a pretty basic laid back match, which whatever. Dusty and Terry aren't exactly spring chickens at this point, but it doesn't matter because the crowd is fucking hot for this match. And sometimes a subpar match, or not, I'm going to say subpar. I'm not trying to shit on the match, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like sometimes just a basic match can be made better by a hot crowd.
It's just a good, solid brawl that has a good story. Like the story is simple. Dustin and Dusty are father and son, and they're fighting these two roughnecks, one of which has feuded with Dusty forever. And Bunkhouse Buck is a cool character, but he's also somebody that, like, I told you multiple times, I was like, I wish the company would have just let Robert Fuller be Robert Fuller.
Yeah.
I wish WCW would have just let Jimmy Golden be Jimmy Golden.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, not saying Bunkhouse Buck sucked. We're just letting him be Jimmy Golden. It should have been Jimmy Golden and Funk versus the Rhodes.
I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you, as Bruno would say. When we were kids or teenagers or whatever and watching Bunkhouse Buck in WCW, I thought Bunkhouse Buck, cool brawler dude. I mean, I watched him when he was on my TV. I enjoyed Bunkhouse Buck, blah, 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 blah. Didn't think much of him, though. You know what I mean? Like, he was just a guy that was on the card. He was in matches that I liked, and he was just a wrestler. Then when I got older and you start getting access to old shit, and I go watch like him and watch him in Continental and stuff, like this guy's a fucking talent and a half.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like if you don't know, you don't know. I mean that,
Yeah. One thing I did like about this match was, and I put LOL in it, they keep hitting Terry Funk with Bunkhouse Buck. Like Funk keeps trying to like somewhat kind of cheat or whatever, but like every 2 minutes they're just slamming Bunkhouse Buck into Terry Funk. And it's fun, and it's insane to me looking back on it now that Terry Funk wasn't utilized. Like, he was utilized great here, don't get me wrong, like him and his feud with Dusty and Dustin and all that. But to me, it's like, this seemed like when you watch this show, it's like a fucking afterthought.
Well, it's funny that you say that. I always forget that Terry Funk was in WCW when Hogan was in WCW.
That's what I'm saying.
In my brain, this shit happened before Hogan showed up.
That's what I'm saying. It's like two WCWs going on at this time. There's what's happening on the main event, and then there's what's happening on WCW Saturday Night.
And it is like that, and from this point until they close. Well, no, from this point until they start losing to Vince in the the Monday Night Wars, because, look at Nitro. There's the cruiserweights, there's the technical shit going on with the Benoits and stuff, and then there's the Hogan stuff and the NWO stuff. It is two companies. It's like two companies at once for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you notice, again, this is getting in the weeds, but you notice later on down the line, the only fucking NWO guy, well, I guess X-Pac, but not counting Six because he kind of leaves in the middle of it. But the only NWO guy that kind of mixes it up with the cruiserweights is fucking Nash because he wants to. They don't. Hogan and Savage and them aren't gonna toil around with those cruiserweights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So your notes on the match here, other than, leading to the finish anyway.
Arn Anderson interferes to give Funk and Buck the advantage. Dustin ends up punching Colonel Robert Parker, which brings in Anderson and Meng again. And there's this big cluster, and Dusty and Dustin end up winning. And the main thing is post-match, Dusty Rhodes brings in a wooden chair, bashes Meng over the head with it, a la Rocky Johnson hitting one of the Wild Samoans with the wooden chair. But nothing happens with Meng. He doesn't sell it, obviously, and then Dusty is shocked by it, and then the stud stable ends up beating down the Rhodes family, and that's how it ends, with Dustin clutching Dusty as the stud stable runs away.
You missed the most important thing in the whole segment.
Oh, sorry.
Out to try to save the Rhodes family, Frankie Lancaster.
Oh yeah, they said, "Oh, Frankie Lancaster's here."
I was like, Frankie Lancaster.
Who the fuck is Frankie Lancaster?
Well, I mean, Frankie Lancaster's a fucking TBS job guy, but I was like, what? What's the significance of Frankie Lancaster here? I don't know. I just thought it was weird.
I didn't have WGN, so I don't see the main event.
But yeah, just real quick before we move on to the next thing, like Aaron said, as far as mid-card WCW, I just want to run down the names involved in this segment. Frankie Lancaster, joking. Dusty and Dustin Rhodes. Bunkhouse Buck, Terry Funk, Arn Anderson, Robert Fuller, and Meng. Well, goddamn.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
That's a card right there. That's like I paid to go see a card with those 5-6 guys on it.
Then the next thing we see is Turtleneck Bischoff reports that he knows nothing. Like, he has nothing new for us. And then Hogan's attorney, Henry Holmes. It's Hulk Hogan's lawyer, and I put part-time. I don't know why I wrote this down. I watched this show a little drunk when I wrote my notes, but it says Henry Holmes, who is Hulk Hogan's lawyer and part-time Mike Graham cosplayer. Like, do you look like Mike Graham?
A little bit.
Comes out.
I didn't think it before, but now that you've mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, a little bit. He kind of does.
Well, he comes out, and then so does Jimmy Hart and Brutus, and they're both upset, and they all want Hulk Hogan to forfeit, but Hulk Hogan supposedly says that he doesn't want to do it because he's in the. They haven't interviewed him, but he's still in the hospital. But Hogan's saying he's gonna defend against Ric Flair some way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, from the time he got hit, I'm just putting this in perspective. Okay, he got hit in the knee before the United States title match. Okay. And then he winds up in the hospital. After the Bunkhouse, Terry Funk, Dustin Rhodes, Dusty match. Okay.
Yes.
So that's like what, like 40, 45 minutes?
It's been a minute. Plural.
So I'm just saying it's like 40, 45 minutes, right? Okay. I just want that to be into perspective. So then, so after that, if we want to talk about, like, you can bring up what happens next, or I can. It's Mean Gene interviewing Ric Flair and Sherry Martel. Ric Flair denies having any involvement in the Hulk Hogan attack, and Flair demands that Hogan should hand him the title. And not Nick Bockwinkel.
I must have been thinking like Tony Soprano or something when I wrote my notes, because I put Mean Gene interviews Ric Flair. Ric Flair says he didn't order the hit.
Yeah, well, if Flair said that, like he's like, I didn't order that hit.
Did he say it?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Maybe he did. To me, it doesn't sound like something Ric Flair would say. I was just thinking maybe, I've been watching the newest season of Tulsa King. Maybe I just had that in my brain. Like, I didn't order the hit.
And then after Flair says that he doesn't want the Bach to handle the title, he wants Hogan to do it. Mean Gene informs us Hulk Hogan is coming back to the arena. Okay?
Yes.
But guess what Hogan's doing?
What's Hogan doing?
He's walking.
Yeah. Yes. I knew it. I knew it. I was picking up what you were throwing down when you were talking about the time.
It took him 45 minutes by ambulance to get to the hospital. But on his injured knee, he's going to walk back in 25 minutes.
Yeah. You know what he's doing? He's doing what Mr. Fuji did on the boardwalk at WrestleMania 5.
Either that or he's in his locker room.
Yes, or he's in his locker room eating only green M&Ms.
Yeah, this motherfucker's gonna walk 5 city blocks on a fucking injured knee. But the next thing we get,
it's only gonna get better from here.
Yeah.
Right now he's just walking back to the arena. I mean, about a year or so, he's gonna throw a man off the fucking Cobo Hall, and the man's gonna live.
Yeah.
Crazy times in WCW.
WCW's insane. It's insane. WCW is insane.
Dry hump by a mummy. It's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, brother.
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
This is insane, dude. But the next actual.
By the way, when we get, I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off, but when we get to that clash, or the clash that would have been around that time when he goes into the Dungeon of Doom, if that footage isn't on that clash, we are going to watch it on the show because we have to watch it.
Oh, there's a little bit of it on there.
Okay.
I think it would be fun to do like an entire deep dive into the
Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah. But as Hulk Hogan is power walking 5 city blocks in 25 minutes, the next thing we get is Lord Steven Regal with Bill Dundee, or I should say Sir William, which in William Regal's book, he's like, how is a butler a sir? I don't understand that. I never will, but I just went with it. But it's William Regal with Little Bill Dundee, Little Bill, versus Antonio Inoki.
And in honor of Antonio Inoki, Hulk Hogan is crab walking back to the arena. I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but
it was funny. And as this match is starting, basically what started this match was Regal lost in the last pay-per-view, and they were giving Inoki his flowers and taking his picture, and Regal got upset about it and slapped Inoki. And this is what was set to be Inoki's retirement match or retirement tour. And I'm not like, the biggest Japanese historian, so I don't know if this was like a Terry Funk type deal or whatever. But this was supposed to be Inoki's retirement tour in one of his last, if not last, United States matches. I think they picked a good opponent. Go ahead, sorry, bro.
Well, I was going to say whether or not he actually did officially retire, or if he, like you said, like it was a funk thing. To my recollection, this is his last match in the States, I believe.
All right. Well, it was the perfect opponent for it. And I thought they had a really good match. During the match, the Bot comes to ringside and he says, Hulk Hogan wants to wrestle Ric Flair, and WCW won't be liable for anything that happens to Hogan. And Tony ends up talking about Inoki wanting to retire and go into politics. And did you hear what Bobby said about that?
I did not catch that.
Bobby Heenan says that Antonio Inoki sold his camera store to fund his career into politics. That's pretty funny.
Oh man, hold on. I wasn't. He did not. He did not retire. This is 94. I'm sorry, I wasn't ignoring you. I wanted to look because I
thought the camera store line was funny.
I couldn't remember. Okay, I was right. His last North American match was this match. His last official final match of his professional wrestling career was the 4th of April, 1998. He defeated Don Fry.
So he's Japanese Terry Funk.
Retired 4 times at least.
Yeah. But
that's why I love that's why I love the shit about the 97 retirement show. Like it's his last match. It's his last match in Texas.
Yeah.
It's his last match.
It's my retirement match in Amarillo. Really? No, just the Amarillo
Convention Center or whatever. Yeah. It's my last retirement match against Bret Hart in the
yeah, in the Sportatorium of Amarillo with Dennis Stamp as our referee.
It's my retirement match in Amarillo at the Coliseum against Bret Hart
with Dennis Stamp.
Dennis Stamp that'll be on Beyond the Mat
with his baby weights.
Yeah,
or a Dennis Stamp with his baby weight.
You never know. You never know. You never know when you're gonna get the call.
Yeah.
And by the way, as much as I love that movie, that Dennis Stamp Terry Funk thing was totally a work. Their segment on that movie, there's no doubt that was a work. That was made. Those guys did that for fucking drama for the movie.
Oh, they did. I want to believe though that Terry Funk falling in the pothole wasn't.
Oh, Terry Funk falling in the pothole wasn't. I believe that wholeheartedly. But the whole story of Dennis Stamp not being involved in the show and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah,
blah.
that's fake. Dennis Stamp was one of Bret's first opponents, though.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that match.
Man. But him jumping on the fucking trampoline with the baby weight, that's one of my favorite things. I still try to stay in shape. You never know when somebody's going to call you.
You never know when you're going to get the call.
You never know when you're going to get the call. Like, nobody's calling you, Dennis Stamp.
I mean, maybe to come, kill the roaches or whatever, but.
Yeah. Leave your baby weight at the house.
Orkin man.
The Orkin man, Dennis Stamp. Speedo and baby weight.
Shit. Okay.
Anyway, Antonio Inoki ends up choking out Steve Regal with the choker sleeper, and Hulk Hogan has walked.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I kind of diverted into madness while we were talking about that match. The match, I didn't want to discredit it. I just want to put my notes in. The match is really good, and I have not in my life watched because like and Aaron says the same thing as I do. I'm not one of those guys that watches Japanese wrestling. I'm sorry. I watch highlights. If somebody says, "Hey, watch this certain match," or watch a few matches that like Scotty Astro recommended that I watch a certain talent a couple of weeks ago, and I went and watched, and I think it was Ricky Choshu, and so I'll go and watch certain little things, but I'm not in any way, shape, or form a wrestling or a Japanese wrestling aficionado. Anything I've ever seen of Inoki, though, he is the talent that everybody says he is or was, and he's in our Hall of Fame this year, and one of the godfathers with Ricky Dozan and Giant Baba of Japanese wrestling. There wouldn't be a New Japan if it wasn't for Antonio Inoki. So yes, I didn't want to. I know we were like I got in a jokey mood or whatever while we were discussing that match, but I didn't want to discredit the fact that it was his last U.S. match, and it was really good for they only got about 8 minutes, but what that 8 minutes did, Regal and Inoki, you're not going to go wrong.
Yeah, and I wanted Inoki to go in the Hall of Fame, and excuse me, it wasn't even just looking at his talent or whatever. It was just as an influential person and what he did promoter wise. But yeah,
what better way to follow up Steven Regal versus Antonio Inoki than with another Hulk Hogan hotline commercial?
Yeah.
It probably in that one said he was Ichiban because Inoki was on the card. Inoki's great, brother, but Hulk Hogan's Ichiban.
Yeah, and Hulk Hogan's Ichiban. And if you want to cure your Ichiban, get right guard.
I was going to say, and I heard Jimmy Hart has Ichibans right now.
Yeah.
He had the buffalo wings.
You can cure that with right guard. You remember the right guard commercials?
Yes, anything less would be uncivilized.
You want to watch some fun Hulk Hogan commercials? Watch the ones he did in Japan. Those are crazy. Or watch some Bob Sapp Japanese commercials.
Oh, God damn.
Those are super insane.
Or when he's on that show. Isn't it Bob Sapp? When he's on that fucking game show or whatever? Is it him?
Probably.
Where he does they do like a song or whatever, and am I thinking of him?
Bob Sapp Time.
Yes, yes. Time.
I almost put that on when we did non-produced WWE music. I almost put Bob Sapp Time on there, but I didn't think anybody would even know it.
Oh no, I know what that is. But I just couldn't remember. I was like, it is him, right? I was like, I know it's a big black American guy.
Bob Sapp Time is one of my favorite things in the world ever. And I don't understand why, if he never saw it, he didn't. How do I say it? If the only way that I can see that Bob Sapp never became a big thing in the WWE is that nobody ever showed Bob Sapp Time to Vince McMahon. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Vince McMahon would be like, oh, damn, pal.
Jesus Christ. Like, if he would have saw Bob Sapp Time, I think Bob Sapp would have been one of the biggest things he's ever seen in the world.
He might have did with Bob Sapp what he intended to do with Bobby Lashley.
And it would have been so much better.
Because Bob Sapp has more charisma than Bobby Lashley. I love Bobby Lashley. Don't get me wrong.
1,000 times more charisma.
Bobby Lashley's a great athlete, but he has zero fucking charisma.
Bobby Lashley looks like $1 million, but he's got the personality of on Golden Pond.
And he's got the little voice.
That's what I'm saying. He's fucking Henry Fonda in fucking Bob Sapp's body.
My man, Bobby Lashley.
That's a weird analogy. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said on Golden Pond with Bobby Lashley.
But it fucking works. It fucking works. Well, after the Hulk Hogan hotline commercial, Ric Flair comes out and he pretty much says, Hulk Hogan, bring me the title.
And then Hulk Hogan walked 5 city blocks in 25 minutes.
Yes, Hulk Hogan, who crab walked to the arena, 5 city blocks with Jimmy Hart sitting on his stomach, is here to defend the World Championship.
Well, that's how he got.
Picture Jimmy Hart sitting on his stomach, Indian style. That's
how he got through traffic so quick. Because Jimmy was just sitting on his stomach going.
I was thinking of the megaphone.
Now I'm just thinking of Jimmy going. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah, baby. And they got to run through red lights.
So Jimmy Hart is one of those human beings that can only exist in professional wrestling.
Oh, definitely. And remember Legends House? I think I've said it before. So if this is a repeat joke, like they were like, oh, at the end of Legends House, we're gonna have a big reveal, and it was Pat Patterson saying he was gay. I'm like, that's not a big reveal. But then Jimmy Hart was like, I lost the son in Desert Storm. The big reveal was Jimmy Hart isn't gay. But anyway, this was Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. Jimmy Hart with Hulk Hogan, Sherry's with Ric Flair, and the injured Hulk Hogan shows up. He's helped to the ring by Brother Brudai and Jimmy Hart, and it's just a typical Hulk Hogan Ric Flair match. Even though Hogan's knee's injured, and Rick looks like a fucking joke because he can't even beat an injured Hulk Hogan.
Oh, go
ahead, sorry.
You know how much I love Bret Hart.
Yeah.
He's my second favorite pro wrestler of all time. I am going to get to a point here. Right behind Randy Savage, Bret's my second favorite of all time. One of the greats. Sometimes when Bret bitches, moans, and complains about things, I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, Bret. Sometimes when he bitches, moans, and complains about, for instance, the screw job. All right, yeah, you got screwed. It sucked. But you got a $3 million fucking contract out of WCW. I don't really pity a guy that got a $3 million fucking deal for working 100 dates a year. All right. Now, getting to my point, as much as I love Bret, I think he's a bitter ass. As much as I love Flair, and as embarrassing as the things that Flair's done to his reputation and to his legacy in the past maybe decade, that sometimes I'm like, Jesus Christ. Flair's bitterness about this era is absolutely warranted. Hogan and Bischoff fucking humiliated him. It just, anything from like 94 to when he does the fucking I'm already fired promo. Just like, Jesus Christ, could you disrespect this man anymore?
Yeah, like this is the first really cutting his nuts off thing
God.
of it. Because like the
They're
bash
about to
at the
do.
beach,
They're about to do
the bash
the
at the beach or whatever, that is what it is.
yeah.
I would have preferred to see Flair win, maybe move into something, but Hogan had to win that match.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he came out of all that shit from the WWF or whatever. But it should have been like this segment and all this build up to this show. Hogan walking the blocks, getting there, and my knees
Yeah.
all fucked up or whatever. If you were gonna have Hogan job to Flair at some point, at least this should have been it.
Right.
Because he
Yeah.
has his leg in a fucking cast, and boom, he hits it. Even if Flair's like, I wasn't the guy that did it, but now Flair has the belt because he's the shitty heel. This fucking segment and whole angle is the thing that neutered Flair because all of this shit happened to Hogan and he still couldn't beat him.
Mm-hmm. Well,
stupid.
It's stupid, and it's Vince McMahon had so much more respect for Flair than Hogan and Bischoff did because I am watching, and I mean I already knew, but just because I'm watching it now, so it's fresh in my mind. When Flair first comes into the WWF in '91, of course they think the big money match is Hogan and Flair, Hogan and Flair, Hogan and Flair. They run a match in Oakland. I think they ran a match in Newark or something in New Jersey. Flair and Hogan. And Vince quickly discovered that the WWF audience did not really actually give a shit about Hogan Flair.
Yeah.
The matches didn't go over well. It wasn't the box office that they thought it was going to be. So instead of putting Flair in the situation of looking like a flop, and like people always say, why didn't they pull the trigger on Hogan Flair at WrestleMania? Because it didn't work. The WWF audience didn't care about it. So why pull the trigger on it and embarrass Flair as being a flop? Instead, he pivoted and said, all right, I'll have Hogan fight the big muscle man Sid, and we'll have great wrestling with Flair and Savage. And Flair and Savage is actually what got Flair over in WWE. I mean, obviously the Royal Rumble match, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Vince had enough respect for Flair to say, this Hogan thing isn't working. We're not going to do it. Like I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to embarrass this man. And he comes into my company and is a flop. So hindsight being 2020, as much bitching as people do about back then, them not pulling the trigger on Hogan Flair on pay-per-view, it was actually a smart business decision.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got way in the weeds there on my soapbox, but
that's fine. But just like I said, in this situation right here in 1994, this should have been Ric Flair getting the belt put back on him, even if it wasn't like him beating Hogan, just him getting it. You could have made him a great heel just by having the belt handed back to him.
Yeah, listen. And how much more stakes does that add? Because what are you heading toward now? Okay, we're going to have Fall Brawl. Hogan's not even at Fall Brawl. But the next big Hogan Flair match is Hogan Flair, Halloween Havoc in a cage, careers on the line. So why not have Flair come in with the belt? Flair comes in as champion. Hogan comes in screwed, then beats Flair in the cage, takes Flair's belt, takes Flair's career.
Yeah.
But no, we can't do that because Hogan's got to be fucking Superman.
Yeah. It's crap. So what happens is Flair ends up getting the figure 4 on Hogan's injured knee, and Hogan rolls out, and then there's a count out, and Hogan's still the champ. It's a shit finish for a pretty shit show, in my opinion. The only real highlights of it are Funk and Buck versus the Rhodes, and William Regal and Inoki.
Yeah, I actually wrote down because like I said, we always do did we go down? Did we stay static? Did we go up from the last Clash? I actually wrote down here, we went other than the middle of the card, which was the Rhodes versus the Stud Stable.
Funk and Buck.
Yeah, Funk and Buck. And then the Inoki Regal. This was a large step down from the last Clash.
Yeah.
Like this was the step. This was the step where you miss a step and and you almost shit yourself because you think you're about to fall down the steps.
Yeah. Like, boom, 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 boom. Like shit. Each time I hit, it was 3 monumental.
Yeah. But yes, this was it was a Clash. It wasn't like I said, the middle of it was good. It's like when you talked about it before, Aaron and I are both managers. When you sit down with an employee, it's a shit sandwich. You start out with something bad, in the middle you hit something good, and then you end on a negative. But no, it's the opposite of that with a shit sandwich, but you know what I was getting at.
Yeah.
In this one, the shit was the buns. Oh, God. All right. That's it. Clash 28. We're done with that. Put it in the books.
In the name of the show, the shit was the buns.
Yep, that's it.
The shit was the buns.
The shit was the buns. Join us, the WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network on Facebook, WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network on YouTube, if that's how you prefer to listen to your podcasts. And then, as we announced on the latest episode of Reliving the Extreme, might be the latest, might be the last, we might be moving on from ECW, but that podcast will still exist in perpetuity until we get back to it. The feed is still there. The episodes will all still be there, but we are going to start a new show in the new year.
Sorry.
I was just going to say January, we will start up a new podcast discussing Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Yeah, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because we're going to get off here, and I do too. But I'm looking forward to it. I think the Smoky Mountain podcast, Pod on the Mountain, is going to be really fun, and it'll be some new topics, conversations, and jokes that we can spawn off from it. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be podcast the way it used to be, podcast the way you like it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob Cottle. You old racist motherfucker, I love you.
Yeah.
Working for Jesse Helms or whatever, but God, I love Bob Cottle. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then obviously on our next We Can't Wrestle podcast, we'll be covering Clash of the Champions 29. Shit don't get any better, folks. It actually gets worse. But we'll see you then. Brother, thank you for joining me tonight. Listeners, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time around here on the We Can't Wrestle podcast.